Do you want to hear something funny about Northern Virginia? Well, some of the top high schools here, top rated high schools, are all beginning with the letter M. We've got Madison, Marshall, Meridian, McLean. What in the world is going on with these M's? Well, let me tell you, a lot of my clients that are relocating to Northern Virginia, they do their search online in great school ratings and any area where they rank all the high schools, all these M's are coming up. And the thing is, it's super important to understand how this impacts your home purchase in your relocation. All right, if you're new here, I'm Carey from the Carey Collective. I'm the relocation specialist. I help families move in and out of Northern Virginia with ease. I'm the COO of your move, and I am here to help you. So let's break this down just a tiny bit. Why in the world does it matter about what school your home is in? Well, the school ratings, whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, I am not here to say, but they affect home values. High schools with higher ratings, higher school ratings, are going to drive home prices up. That is what it is, but it's important to know. When I work with a buyer that's relocating to Northern Virginia, we always start first with pre-approval. And let me tell you why, because I like to work backwards. So once you have your pre-approval, let's just say you're pre-approved up to 1.5 million, or that's what you're comfortable paying a mortgage on is 1.5 million. We are going to reverse engineer that into our searches. So I use an app that we can communicate together, that we can have conversations on homes. You can message me on there. You can save things, request tours. It's just an easy way to stay organized. And that is super important in your home search, because I do not need you scrolling on your cell phone like, where was that house? What did she say? What was that? We're not going to do that. We're going to stay in the app to be organized, clean, and efficient. So we got your number, we're putting it in the search, and we've got it. Imagine you're looking Arlington County, Fairfax County, and Loudoun County. What 1.5 gets you in those three counties can look very, very different. And usually it does have to do with the school zones. In the online space, in the interwebs where we get our news, anywhere you get your news, the ratings of the high school will directly influence the home values. They shape the demand for buyers as well. It's super, super important to just know this. Again, true or false doesn't matter. Agree or don't agree, it doesn't matter. This is what home values are. We actually had a really big boundary change recently, and it was like the first time in forever that the boundaries were going to get adjusted. And I can tell you, parents were up in arms about it. And because they paid a certain price for their house to be in a certain zone. And it's just different. It just is, and that's the realities. But what schools keep coming up? You've got Madison and Martian, you got Madison and Marshall in Vienna. So what I will normally share with my clients, because this is a question I get. You're not here. What's the difference? Well, really, on the ground, this is consensus from my clients, is Madison is a super sporty, and Marshall has the IB program. Now, Madison is also ranked really high as well in the school, but here in these parts, people love Madison for the sports. So many athletes from Madison will go off and play in college. It's just a really interesting thing to know. Marshall, which is Vienna, but also pulls from other neighborhoods, the IB program. So sometimes families really love that when their kids have gone overseas or they lived overseas and they've been in IB programs this whole time, they might feel like that's a really easy transition. But what about Meridian? Meridian is one I can promise you that my clients overseas are constantly like, I only want this school. I only want this school. I only want this school. And it's all from what they hear online. And so I just want to break it down. One thing that's special about Meridian High School and that Falls Church City area in general is kids will start in school together and then they just keep going all together through high school, which is really unique. Again, in Vienna, that's not what happens. We'll have kids, let's say at Louise Archer and then Flint Hill Elementary, and then between those two, they split between middle schools. You've got Kilmer Middle and you've got Thoreau Middle. And then even then, you're in those two middles, and then they split between the high schools of Marshall, Madison. We've got Oakton in there as well. Doesn't start with an M, but it's in this neighborhood, and you're going to get mixed in the same Vienna middle schools, but potentially go to Oakton High School. So it's just interesting to know. In Meridian, they kind of all climb together. And that is nice because that is kids that all stay together and know each other. But there is the IB program there also in Meridian, and families seem to have this idea that there's more, it's a more transient high school as well. And so my perspective as a mom and as a human being, and this is not my agent perspective, but me as a mom, Northern Virginia is really transient no matter what. I am helping clients relocate all over Northern Virginia. So you've got, all the way out to Loudoun County and Ashburn and Leesburg, and then even into Arlington. Families are moving in and out all the time. And so I have found that kids aren't always together. Kids come, kids go. Like, it really is just an interesting location in this country because so many people move. I grew up in Ohio. Nobody ever left. We all went to school together. We grew up together. No one left. No one came. It was like rare to get one new kid in the school. So here in Northern Virginia, I only say this again as a mom, take a breath. Like, so many people come in and out. Your kids, I think kids are very adaptable, and they're gonna thrive where you put them. And I always talk to families about what is the life that you want to live here, because that is going to play into where you land. Northern Virginia has so many great areas, so many great places to live. And so it's really important of like, what do you want to spend your weekends? Where do you want to spend your nights? What does your family like to do? I'm just sharing this as a human being, as a mom, and I hope that this is helpful. But the reality is, what I want you to understand, at least with the home values, is the school rating online, like it, don't like it, agree or don't agree, we've come to a conclusion on that. It does change the home value. So what you get in one area with a school with a really high rating, put that same house in another area with a lower school rating, the price is going to be different. And if you are a relocation buyer that's only here temporary, I help the people like that a ton. You want to look at the investment property as well. You want to look at that investment piece. How is this going to be rented? How much is this going to appreciate year over year? These are the conversations that I am having with my clients, with my buyers that are relocating to Northern Virginia, because it's not just a forever home. Many people who I help actually are never buying their forever home. And so we put on these different goggles, we put on different lenses, and I share data. Hey, this is what happened here. Hey, this is what you can expect to rent at. Hey, this is the appreciation year over year. It is not just, yes, this is 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, and there's lovely trees in your backyard, and you're super close to a busy road. Like, it's just not that. It's really important to dig into the weeds. And that's what I'm here to do. So my opinion on the schools doesn't matter, just so you know, but it does play into your home value. So if you have questions about that and you want to reach out, just send me a text, 513-284-5396. Send me an email, Casi, C-A-S-I, @thecareycollective.com. Go to my website at thecareycollective.com. I have kids in every single stage of life. My oldest son started in middle school in Arlington, went to high school in Arlington, and then swapped out to a private high school. Now I have a high schooler, I have a middle schooler, I have a preschooler, and I have a toddler. So we are in every single stage. So if you have a question about it, I can guarantee you I have lived it, or I know someone that has relocated and can answer it maybe better than I can. So let me know if you have any questions. Now I'm going to go outside and enjoy the amazing weather that we're finally getting in Northern Virginia.